Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today we're taking a little break from the new German battlecruiser line. Don't worry, we'll get back to that. But first, I wanted to look at a new premium Pan-Asian cruiser. This is the Dalian. And I was intrigued because, well, I kind of like the Irian at Tier 8, the Pan-Asian cruiser. And I was curious to see if this thing was in any way or shape or form similar. Now, this is a Tier 9 light cruiser. And I have tried to dig up some details on this thing, but haven't really found an awful lot. So it does say that it's a Soviet cruiser, and unsurprisingly, a lot of the things come out of that corner. And it has a dual-purpose artillery. Now, Mark 6 does not make an awful lot of sense in this context, but I had a look at the guns. And these are apparently, at least according to their description, the BL-109A mounts, which would be the planned secondaries for the Stalingrad, which makes sense in the context of post-war, because the Stalingrad project was kind of started during the Second World War, but it was more like around the 1950s when that was really picked up. And these guns at the time were dual-purpose guns, which even had more advanced rangefinders and all kinds of things. So this is apparently a Soviet cruiser design. There were a lot of those, and not many of them were actually built. So I haven't really found anything. But if ever I come across it, I'll probably make a follow-up on the whole set of all these ships. But for today, we will just be looking at this one. This is, by the way, given that it's on the Pan-Asian tech tree, belonging to the People's Republic of China, as you can see on the little flag waving there. Now, just to make that abundantly clear, this is the People's Republic of China. This is not the Republic of China, which is the island off the coast where there's a bit of a kerfuffle at the moment. Well, actually, I've been saying this wrong. I keep saying this is a cruiser. Well, it isn't. It might look like one, but it isn't. Why am I saying that? Well, let's begin comparing this thing to the Irian, because that's something we have on the Pan-Asian tech tree as well, and we might get some insights into that. The Dalian gets defensive AA. She gets 4 smoke screens and 3 torpedo reloads. These are torpedo reloads 2, so these have a 90-second cooldown, the difference being that the torpedo reload 1 has a 120-second cooldown. So these reload 1 tube. We'll get to that in a minute, but we've got 4 smokes, 3 FAA 2s, and 3 torpedo reloads. And the other thing that might come as a bit of a surprise, and that is going to come as a really nasty surprise to anybody who is, well, in the future not familiar with these things, even though this is a Pan-Asian destroyer, well, we're going to keep calling it a destroyer. You see why in a minute. Even though that's a Pan-Asian destroyer, it does not have deep water torpedoes. So that's a thing. Anyway, let's have a very quick look. This thing has 24,000 hit points. Yes, you're reading that right. This is a Tier 9 destroyer with 24,000 hit points. The armor for a destroyer is actually reasonably thick. And the speed is pretty average, but the maneuverability is sort of at the scout cruiser level almost. So things like the Khabarovsk and the German scout cruiser line, sort of similar. The guns, it's where it gets interesting. So unlike the Irian, who is one of the traditional Kutuzov style cruisers, this thing gets destroyer guns, the 130mm that I've talked about earlier. Although I don't think the 60 caliber length ever existed. At least I couldn't find anything about it on the English-speaking internet. It's entirely possible that there is something on the Russian-speaking internet that I haven't really seen yet. But from what I could see, the closest that we would have at the time were the 58 caliber length 130mm guns. So maybe this is a hypothetical gun. We don't know. But 5-second reload, 10 guns, 11-kilometer range isn't great. And obviously, given that it's 130mm, the damage output is going to be lower, but the turret traverse with 30 degrees per second is amazing. And it makes sense given that this is a probably fully electric automatic whatnot post-war design hypothetical thing. Let's get to the torpedoes, because that's where it gets interesting. These torpedoes are not doing an awful lot of damage, but you get a lot of them. This thing has 12 torpedoes on side-mounted launchers, so 6 on each side, and it's got the torpedo reload. So effectively, you've got 15 torpedoes that you can get into the water, and they have a very, very good range of 10.2 kilometers. So you can totally stealth torp in this destroyer. The damage output, though, isn't grand with 3,200. So in return, though, they reload in 45 seconds. So you can spam a lot of torpedoes into the water. Very, very nice torpedoes. The AA is for tier 9 on the low end of things, but you can still make yourself useful as support AA, especially with 4 smoke screens. And these are not fuel smokes. These are actual smoke screens. So that's the thing. And obviously, and this is why I keep calling this thing a destroyer, she's got a base surface detection of 7.7 kilometers. So if we compare that thing to the tier 10 Soviet destroyer, I'm going to call it Kaba a destroyer as well, even though that's probably questionable. Just for context here, right? This thing has marginally more armor and hit points than the Khabarovsk. It has a citadel, though, which the Khabarovsk does not. So in practice, this tier 9 thing is even squishier than a Khabarovsk. The speed's obviously not there, but the acceleration is better than the Kaba. And to all degrees and purposes, the maneuverability in terms of traverse is better on the Khabarovsk than on the Khabarovsk as well. So, see, it's a destroyer, I keep telling you. The guns are similar, although the guns on the Dalian are a little bit newer, but they do surprisingly do less damage than the Kaba's guns, but have the same good turret traverse and have a slightly better range, and obviously you get an additional turret. Torpedo-wise, I mean, the Khabarovsk is not a torpedo destroyer, but the range is kind of where it's at here. And obviously the AA is slightly better, and the surface detection is relatively comparable. Is it a Smolensk? Not quite. The reason being that if we just have a very quick look at the guns, while the Smolensk has the 130mm guns, she gets better range and obviously has 16 of them because of the ridiculous quad turrets, whereas this thing only has 10. So no, it's not a tier 9 Smolensk, just in case you were wondering. It's a tier 9 Pan-Asian destroyer. So what have we done with this thing? Obviously, let's begin with the equipment. Obviously, we've got concealment in 3 because it's a destroyer. We've got propulsion in 2. And I'm actually using the main battery mod 1. You don't need the turret traverse. You could potentially go with longer range AA if you were so inclined, or maybe with a main battery reload. But dispersion works as well. These are pretty good guns. So mostly classic destroyer setup. And the historical camo, unfortunately, and this is a very, very unfortunate thing, the historical camouflage actually does not give us concealment, which is a bummer, really. It gives us hit points, which isn't going to be an awful lot, because she doesn't have any more hit points than a tier 10 destroyer anyway. It gives a range, which is good, AA range, which is nice, and torpedo damage reduction, which nobody needs on this thing. So this is not a particularly great choice. You can, if you are so inclined, do that. Yes, you can make your ship look like something out of a theme park, if you were so inclined. The unfortunate thing is that this, at least stats-wise, is actually the better camouflage, which makes me slightly iffy about this, because I am not going to be sailing out in something that looks like a bloody dolphin. Right, so this gives us range, torpedo range, which is really nice, traverse speed, which is good, and the surface detection, which is also really good. So this is the better camo, but your ship's going to look like a marine mammal, and I'm not having any of that, so here we go. That's what ships look like. And that's what we're going to be sticking with. Elite bonus, let's have a quick look at that. There is a useless one because you have 30 degrees per second main battery traverse speed. Why do you want to increase that? No, get the torpedo reload and torpedo troop traverse speed. It's slightly better, but it really doesn't matter an awful lot. Because the torpedo reload is already pretty quick. So with that and the supplies, although the supplies are not going to be taken into account just yet in these metrics here, we have a 6.97, so just under 7 kilometer surface detection, which is quite a bit for a destroyer, but still, I would say, within range for these things. And it makes sense because it means we've got a comfortable 3 kilometer margin for stealth torpedo runs, and a smoke screen for when we can't. Skill-wise, I have put standard stuff pretty much for a destroyer setup. The preheating, I do have the defensive AA because the AA, while not great by tier 9 standards, it can still make itself useful. And with the smoke screens, especially if you're going on into cap rushes, you can smoke up and then not easily be detected by the carrier and actually wreak some havoc on enemy planes. So that's the one. I've got the Daredevil here, and obviously the exploit weakness. Mistweaver is a no-brainer as well, and a demo expert because nothing else makes sense. Not an awful lot of skills that you really need going forward from here. The exploit weakness is kind of nice because you are going to be trying and set fires, and the Giant Hunter maybe at some point going forward. There is, and I'm going to have to see if I can find him. Give me 1 second. There is. Okay, so there is a legendary commander in the bundle, because this ship's actually in a bundle. This is not a gambling ship. It's not a cheap bundle, but it's a bundle nevertheless. So there is a bundle that comes with a legendary commander. And I realize now that I really should have tested it with the legendary commander, but I haven't because I think when I was testing, I didn't have the commander, and that's why. But yeah, there's the Silk Road Dawn bundle here, which gives a camouflage which doesn't look completely outrageously stupid, and is usable for a destroyer. But it also comes with this legendary commander. So what does he give us? More detection of enemy torpedoes, a better defensive AA, taken it. The better exploit weakness, taken it, because that's pretty good for a destroyer. The better Mistweaver, also good. A special torpedo reload expert skill, which gives us a 25% torpedo reload cooldown and +1 torpedo reload. This is great, although because it does reduce the cooldown, it actually really really reinforces the torpedo spam capabilities of this thing. And with 10 kilometer range, and these are not deep waters, you can hit destroyers with these things. This is a very, very fun addition. This would be a very fun addition. And it gives us an improved IFAG, although these are 130 mils, so it's probably not going to make an awful lot of difference, but still, you'll be mostly using the high explosive and trying to set fire, so it's a welcome thing. So all in all, this is probably if I were to buy a bundle, this would be the one to go for, because the alternative is that your ship looks like that. And that's a hard no from me. But there's no arguing about taste. Some people might like that. Anyway, so we've gone through, I think, pretty much everything. Yeah, I didn't have the commander available when I was testing, so that's why I haven't included him there. But let's get into some gameplay. The first game is a tier 10 game. Because, it's tier 9, so tier 9 matchmaking, occasionally you end up in tier 10 games. We are up against Vermont, Montana, Iowa, Worcester, Ibuki, and Fletcher. And we're playing on the Atlantic. Atlantic is not one of my favorite maps, necessarily. A bit large, lots of islands, but for a destroyer, it's a pretty good map. So we are spawning on our left flank, on the northern end of the map. And there's plenty of islands around. We don't really have to be careful too much, because we're going to be able to outspot probably everything except the enemy destroyer, because our concealment for a destroyer is a little bit on the high end, but everything else we should be able to comfortably outspot and to stealth torpedo. That said, you obviously don't want to just be stealth torpedoing things. You want to actually make use of your guns as well. The one thing that you do need to be careful about is the lack of health that this thing has, because unlike actual destroyers, you have a Citadel and there's a Vermont, for example, in the game. So these things can pretty much one-shot you out of the water if you give them the chance to do so. But you don't need to. That's the trick here. Don't give them the chance. So, scouting ahead, and we've scouted the the bot. And there's the enemy Ibuki. Now, unfortunately, I think the bot's probably going to spot me. I'm trying to get behind that island, but not before I actually get spotted. Now, where's Ibuki going? Has he noticed me? Because now we're all behind islands, and there I go unspotted. I don't think he's noticed me, so I'm going to put the torpedoes on narrow spread and then donk torpedoes in the water in his general direction. The torpedoes are side mounted, so I can only get 9 away and then have to turn the ship around. But in the meantime, I pretend I haven't seen him and shoot at something else. And yeah, hello, surprise! Scratch one Ibuki, and that flank cleaned up. Yeah, sorry for that. And you see my torpedoes are already almost reloaded. So now we just stop shooting, go undetected, and get ready to use our torpedoes again. Because we're a destroyer. So, battleships. What do we have over there that we can do some damage on? There's a Vermont. Like I said, we do have to be a little bit careful with that thing, but we have smokes. And there's the Montana. Now, they're still busy shooting at the bot because, they can't see me. Let's see if I can get a torpedo run off. Unfortunately, the Vermont's hiding behind an island there. But is he coming out? Is he coming back out from the island? Doesn't quite look like. So maybe we'll just drop onto the Montana. Although the Montana is probably going to have Shimakaze issues in a while. But let's see if I don't know if the Shima is focusing on him. Let's see if he's making a turn out of it. And just get as close as we can within our concealment range. And yeah, Vermont seems to like coming out from behind that island. Okay, smoke up. Let's start shooting at the Montana. Let's pretend we didn't see that Vermont behind the island. And not sit still in our smoke. Okay, these were not my torpedoes. I think he's turned away because he just ran into a bunch of Shima torps. So these might miss, but the Vermont torpedoes probably not. Which means I can turn around and get some more off. Oh, I think I've clipped the island there. That's unfortunate. But I can drop a couple more in case he's going forward to dodge those. Let's drop them a little bit ahead. And second spread out there. And more torpedoes in the general direction of the Vermont. And we'll see if we can set this guy on fire. And just do it at maximum range. Because, like I said, getting hit in this thing is very much not advisable. That said, the forward turret arrangement is pretty good. You can be sort of bow in and still get the 3 forward turrets on target. So unless you want to do this in some other way on max range, and we get another torpedo hit. We got one. Good job. That's not terrible. We will just keep burning down the Vermont. That's a double fire. Let's see if he's going. If he's damage controlling that. No, he just lets it burn, which makes sense. Vermont has relatively good damage reduction on that, and yeah, he's gonna have other problems because there's also Shima coming. So smoke up again, make sure that we're going undetected before we're doing the full turn, and torps again out against the Vermont. Yeah, there come the shots, and I think I got lucky there that they're mostly over-penetrated my bow section, because that would have outright deleted me otherwise. But yeah, this thing has no armor, as is typical for destroyers. And I think Shima might be getting the Vermont with torpedoes before I'm going to have a chance to do something. So let's just do one more torpedo reload, because it's not that we don't have enough of them, and spam them in the general direction of that Vermont. And I think there's not an awful lot left from the enemy team. I don't know where their destroyer is, honestly. But there's one cruiser heading back to our cap. But yeah, we're gonna get another cap. Another torpedo hit on the Vermont. I think they just run out. So he might have backed off sufficiently to not be hit by those. But I can still rain death and destruction, and there's still Shima. So, and at this range, he's gonna have a hard time. Hitting me, because this thing again also has the maneuverability of the destroyer. So let's see if we can gun him down before these Shima torps are reaching him. I think he just started healing, so that's probably a nope. Which means Shima is going to get the kill with torpedoes. All right, Ben, you take it. And that thing is dead. And I think someone else has killed the Fletcher, and that is already game. So we didn't really actually get a chance to do an awful lot here. But you can probably see that this ship is very much at home in a tier 10 game. It's not an issue to get into tier 10 games with this thing. Just play it like a really large destroyer, because that's what it is. All right, let's do a second one. Because here, we're top tier. Evil love. Enterprise, Alabama, Tirpitz, Tone, and Kagero. One bot destroyer and one bot cruiser, and it's Typhoon's Eye Domination. Nice map, I like this map. Four cup domination maps, I quite enjoy those. But yeah, we're top tier, so lots of tier 8s around here. Let's see what we can do about those. First things first, I haven't been paying attention if we have any destroyers on our team. Probably one of them's a bot. Considering to switch to the armor piercing, because if you're firing at destroyers, obviously you want to use the AP on these 130 mils. But I've got one North Carolina there. So the carrier is scouting in the other direction, is he? I'm not sure. The carrier might be coming my way here. Yeah, the carrier is coming my way. So I'm going to use my first smoke screen and then just inch into the capture circle. So and I need to do that before the carrier can see me, so that he cannot lock the dive bombers onto me. So now I'm just got the defensive AA up. I've got the nose in the capture circle, and I'm starting to shoot the planes down together with the friendly carriers fighters before they can hit anything. And yeah, yes, please circle these planes over my position. I love that. And there go more planes, and this was all the planes. Okay, so one smoke used, no biggie. We've still got 3 left. We shot down 6 aircraft so far, and I think that first carrier wave in this direction at least wasn't doing an awful lot. Great. Somebody has captured A. So given that both destroyers are over there, that has to be... It's probably the Tone, but we'll find out soon enough, I guess. I should be able to outspot that thing. It does have a very good service detection as well, so not by an awful lot, but I should be able to outspot that thing as well. So let's see what we can find, and just sneak up. There he is. Okay, I did outspot him, but now I'm detected as well. So let's see if he's paying any attention. Torpedoes out, and we're just gonna start unloading guns at that thing. Go bow in because Tony has torpedoes, and then just smoke up so she can see us. So did he pay any attention? Don't think he did. Oh no, he's shooting at me, but can't see me, and yeah. Okay, no, he was paying attention, but he was trying to torpedo me. Yeah, I know that the Tone has torpedoes. So, yeah, sorry for that, buddy. It is a very new ship, and people don't quite know yet what to expect of that, presumably. But I mean, you should know that Pan-Asian cruisers have torpedoes, so... Alright then, let's capture A and then make ourselves useful elsewhere. So we've got the Tone down. The other flank doesn't quite look so good. Obviously the bots are going to die relatively early on, but there's an Alabama that I might be able to get some torpedoes away against. I don't know if he's going to come around this way, so I'm just going to drop into the gap. Bot Hakao there is almost dead from the enemy team. Let's grab ourselves a cup, and then I am going to head over to the other side and see if I can make myself useful over there. Okay, so we've just lost our North Carolina because he was trying to sail around the edge of the map and has found the cargo. Alabama is turning the other way, so my second torpedo spread is not going to hit. But there comes some more carrier planes, so let's see if we can get these spreads on top. I should have interleaved that more. And this way I only got 2 torpedoes on target. There's Yugomo as well, so Alabama isn't going to have a great time, and I'm just happily shooting these aircraft down. Although we are a kill behind already. I'm not quite sure how that happened. My team's dying a lot faster than I thought it was going to. But that was probably the bot and that Iowa that lost to the cargo. Our carrier is awfully exposed back there, especially with the destroyers. So I can't really spend all my time over here. I might have to head over back and assist with destroyer deterrence. In the meantime, I'm just doing AA cover, and the carrier insists on flying over me, which is much appreciated. I do want that clear skies, please. So let's see if we can get now. Yugomo gets the Alabama. There's cargo over there, but there's Tirpitz, and Benson's a bot, and the cargo, I'm not sure where he's going, but yeah. Okay, let's drop the Tirpitz, and then we're heading over there and help out with the cargo. Okay, smoke up, just torpedo reload. Drop 9 torpedoes in the water, and then we will slowly reverse, try to set a fire. That Benson's a bot, we don't need to worry about it. Shoot some more airplanes down. Set some fires on the Tirpitz. Double fire is probably gonna... Yes, he double-counted double fire, so maybe I can get a flood from that torpedo spread. And then, yeah, it looks like the enemy destroyer, hello Enterprise, the enemy destroyer is going for B cap. So, so I'm going to drop the other torpedoes from the other side into the direction of the turrets. He's probably going to accelerate at this point, given that he's just run into a bunch of torpedoes. And then I'm going to go and hunt that destroyer that's heading into B cap. And make myself useful over there because, I mean, I'm technically a cruiser, all right? I've got lots of guns, so I might as well make myself useful. Hello, Mr. Cargo. So it looks like the carrier might have some issues with getting that thing killed. Although that was a nice torpedo drop, so let's go chase the cargo. And with the armor piercing, these 10 guns are absolutely shredding things. Oh, we have sunk turrets apparently. Can't remember, did I have set a fire or something? Wasn't paying attention. Anyway, we've got cargoes to kill and airplanes to destroy, so AA guns on the ready. There are 2 dive bomber wings coming, full in reverse, smoke up because I do not have a sonar, so I don't know if there's torpedoes in the water. I would assume, but that's now a dead cargo, so if he hasn't, then he's not gonna. But it looks like that was just as well because because my team has completely been obliterated, except from the friendly carrier, who is now sailing into B cap. So I'm, into D cap. I'm going to grab B cap, and we've got under a minute left. So now I just have to not die to the carrier. I'm out of defensive AA, and I'm out of smoke. But he has dropped into the smoke just the second when I was turning visible. So these torpedoes are going to miss. I can't lob that because these are Soviet guns. So I'm just gonna sit in here, grab some more capture points. We are ahead on points, so as long as he's focusing on me, which is good, because I can potentially avoid most of his torpedo drops, and I don't know if the friendly carrier is already damaged. So yeah, even if he was going to kill me, I don't think he would have enough points to do that. There comes the torpedo drop. Let's go close to the island, and yes, he's dumped the torpedoes onto the island. There we go. I should have done this from the other side. That would have been better, but still probably not enough to sink me. So some more torpedoes away, but yeah, they're not going to make it there in time. Yeah, we've pretty comprehensively cleaned this up, I would say. And yeah, this is why I enjoy this ship, because this is an amazing little boat. It's super squishy. You can't get shot at. But it's got destroyer concealment, it's got 4 smoke screens. If you're not being utterly stupid, then you're not going to get shot at an awful lot. And yes, there's my clear skies. Thank you very much, carrier. That's what I was after. And yeah, as you can see, I'm doing as much damage with the torpedoes as I'm doing with my guns. And this thing's got lots of guns, but it's got all the torpedoes. And they're great fun. So yeah, there you go. This is the Dalian, the Tier 9 Pan-Asian destroyer with not deep water torpedoes. And if you're so inclined, you can make it look like a kiddie boat. But that's it for me today. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.